Hey guys, Adrian here from the Digital Dojos at digitaldojos.com. It's been a while since I've done this technology vlog, and today I want to talk about all the rumors surrounding the iPhone launch. What's the next iPhone? We're going to talk about iPhone 5S, iPhone 5C, narrow down what the rumors are, what we're expecting to see, and what's most likely, and then moving on to what I think about everything. So let's just jump right off. September 10th is confirmed there's going to be an Apple event. Most likely they're going to release a new or talk about the new release date for the iPhones. They're going to talk about iOS 7 and OS 10 Mavericks as they usually do. Now, what are we expected to see? Now, this year's a little bit different. We have the 5S, which we're thinking maybe possibly a 6, and the 5C. So we're going to talk about both of those. Now, with the lineage of Apple updates, you've seen it from the 3G, 3GS, 4 to 4S, and we're expecting a 5 to 5S. Though there's a lot of speculation because in today's market, with all these crazy Android phones coming out, tons in HTC One, the Moto X, the Samsung Galaxy S4, lots of good, really good phones are coming out there. And to keep up in the competition, people are saying Apple really needs to do that jump from 5 to 6. Well, we're not positive on what they're going to release, but 5S wise, what we think we know is obviously, it's going to be faster. It's going to be all that good stuff. It's a phone upgrade, obviously. But let's jump into the hardware. So, speaking of hardware, we're probably going to see an integration of the new A7 CPU processor inside. We're going to see more RAM. We're going to probably see it coupled with more storage, so higher storage options in terms of capacity, longer battery life. That's also coupled with iOS 7, and some other changes. So the camera, obviously, the camera is going to be improved in terms of megapixels, probably a new lens, and the big thing that they're talking about is that dual LED flash, so you get brighter photos in low light, so better low light photos, or just photos in general using the flash functionality. Now, in terms of new hardware, what's really crazy? Well, the fingerprint scanner. So this was talked about a lot, and as of right now, it's pretty much confirmed by all sources out there and pretty big sources in Apple that the fingerprint scanner that they are going to implement, it's probably going to be implemented on the home button. It's going to be able to use biometric, obviously, reading to scan your thumbprint or something. I'm guessing your thumbprint in order to authenticate and allow you in the phone. We're not too sure beyond that what else will allow you to hide behind a thumbprint scanner or code, I guess you can say. But it is a nice security implementation. So this is something that these are companies Authenticate, I believe, Authenticate, or a company similar to that name that they bought recently in the past. And again, multiple sources have quoted this as being positive. There is going to be this biometric scanner integrated into the iPhone. And it's probably going to be seamless, like I said, within the home button. Most likely, the scanner will be located underneath that. Now, additionally, what else are we going to see? Well, the big other talked about rumor is that about the golden iPhone. Now, it's not exactly all gold in what you think, but Apple is going to be offering, as other sources said, a gold-like iPhone. And if you think of it, you can see the picture here. It's more of they describe it as a champagne color, which I really like. I like the whole idea of gold. It diversifies the lineup in the slate and that kind of graphite color that they offer. Though I don't like it with the white trim, I think it could be nicer with a black trim if they tend to offer that. I think it's just it's a nice added functionality. It's not it's added feature. It's not really it doesn't do much obviously, but a nice cosmetic thing and it adds to the appeal of the phone. Now, obviously all the speed upgrades, all that. But what else besides the golden and the speed upgrades? We're not too sure yet. Whether or not they're going to do things with the screen, whether or not they're going to do things with the speakers, or any other buttons or anything like that. Not too positive. Though there is something going to be called the iPhone 5C. So what's the 5C? And we're not too sure if it's going to be called the 5C. We're not going to be sure if the C stands for colors. Essentially, what this is the budget iPhone. Now, there's a lot of talk about Apple releasing a budget iPhone for markets that are, to release essentially a more affordable iPhone. People are calling it the cheap iPhone. I don't really like the whole idea of, a cheap iPhone. That sounds really, not only does it sound not Apple, but in general, I like to think of it as an affordable iPhone. I think it's going to replace, personally, what they're going to do. I think they'll, instead of having the typical 4S, 5S model as they usually do it, they'll offer like the 5 for cheaper. I think either they'll get rid of the 5 completely, phase out the 5, just offer the 5S, and offer the 5C, is I think how they'll do the lineup or whatever it may be. Because the 5C will essentially be a plastic body iPhone. You can get these in a variety of colors, but we've already seen these plastic parts floating around, much more, or much less durable iPhones. But again, for a more affordable crowd, for the people who don't want all these, new whistles and bells, they don't need the latest and greatest. they want to enter the Apple ecosystem, but maybe they don't want to spend all the money on a more expensive phone. Well, they can get the 5C, and this essentially spec-wise would be up to par with that of the 4S. So decently fast for everyday use, web browsing, stuff like that. It just, again, it doesn't have all the great features. It's a little bit more portable at that, and let me just all my monitors turned off there. But yeah, so that's what we're thinking about the 5C. This is gonna be big in markets like China, they talked about, and I think, again, I don't like to think of it as the cheap iPhone. To me, it's that entry level phone, and today with all these manufacturers making so many phones, I think it's time for Apple to kind of step up and offer two different lines, and or even multiple lines at that. But it is interesting. I think that it's interesting to see them go this route. It's not even positive that this 5C exists, but it'll be interesting to see and how they pull it off and what they exactly cut out of the line. So overall, what are my opinions on it? As an iPhone user, I still use iOS mainly, and I use my iPhone as my daily driver for the reason being iOS is really related to my job. I do a lot of client work centered around iOS development. I work with clients who need apps on iOS, videos for apps on iOS, so it is really my daily driver because it's so much involved in everything I do. But with the growing market, like I said, Android's doing a lot of big things, so I think Apple really does need to step up their game to not to say relevant. I think they're in a pretty good shape, but to obviously continue to grow and lead the market. I think that a fingerprint scanner and the gold iPhone is cool, and the fingerprint scanner is a nice little feature, but it's not really a selling point for me to upgrade to a 5S. It's kind of like, yeah, I understand the phones get faster incrementally over the years, and they'll kind of tout how much it's this much faster and that much faster. But I'm really satisfied with my 5 right now. I was satisfied with my 3G that I didn't really need to go to the 3GS. The only reason I went to the 4S, I believe, was because of Siri. But they need to have that really key feature, and to me, a fingerprint scanner isn't it. A golden iPhone, while really cool, isn't it. I think they need to do a little bit more to push it over the edge. Yes, iOS 7 will be cool, but my iPhone 5 is going to get that as well. So, they need to do a little bit more, in my opinion, to really sell me on a 5S, or altogether, I think, jump ship and do a whole iPhone 6 with more integrated features. Maybe a bigger screen, maybe, a way better camera, has to be, tremendously better. Something that really pushes it over the edge. Anyways, guys, that's a roundup of what we know so far, and iPhone-wise. What do you guys think? Do you think the iPhone 5S, do you think it'll be an iPhone 6? Do you think the 5C, in terms of a budget iPhone, is really going to appeal to a ton of people? Leave all your feedback down below. And if not, maybe you're switching to Android. Maybe you're switching to Windows Phone. What phone are you switching to and why? Anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and you can check out all our links down below. And don't forget to check out digitaldojos.com.